Hi, this is Ken. We are doing our first vlog post of the year for 2025. I know that we're about 10 days into 2025, and I apologize. It's been a busy start to the new year. So I certainly hope, Christina and I certainly hope that you have been making your goals uh, for 2025, not resolutions, right? 92% of people that make resolutions don't stick with them. 92% of resolutions aren't followed through on. So it's much better to actually set goals for the new year. So hopefully you did that. And one of the goals, hopefully, is to travel more. In last to end out 2024, we did a little video blog about where we're headed in 2025. So hopefully you are going to get uh, get your vacation set here pretty good. As you can see, I did a virtual background there behind me to kind of get you in the mood there of the crashing waves, so to speak. We're going to do a video series on the 2025 best places to go. Hopefully, we're going to do maybe 25. We're going to go around the different world and do a few here and a few there, but we're probably going to do like 25 total. We're going to start today with five of the best places in the Caribbean and Central America. Five of the best places in the Caribbean and Central America. So we will kick this off with Antigua and Barbuda. Now, Antigua and Barbuda is actually one country, two different islands out in the Eastern Caribbean. Christina and I actually stayed on Antigua several years ago. We stayed at Sandals Grand Antiguan Resort. It's a very nice resort, probably the largest pool that I've seen anywhere, like in sheer size, that I've seen anywhere at any resort. And as you know, we've been to a lot of resorts over the years. It was a stunningly large pool, very nice, stuck out in my memory. It actually has different villages. There's an Italian village, a French village, an English village. So the theme of the rooms in each of those villages obviously center around the different countries there. So it's very nice. Very large room as I remember. So highly recommend Antigua and Barbuda. Now, Barbuda is the smaller of the two islands, and it is not nearly uh, as touristy, I guess would be the best way to say that. Antigua, that's where the international airport is. It's where the different resorts and cruise ships and everything typically dock. So that is the main island. But if you're looking for something off the beaten path, a little different, highly recommend going to the smaller sister island, as they say, of Barbuda. So Antigua and Barbuda uh, round out I guess, sorry, start the list for us. Next in alphabetical order, we have Belize. Christina and I have not actually been to Belize. We hopefully will check that off the list at some point soon. Um, you can do a cruise that stops in Belize too if you want to kind of check it out. But that has been an up and coming tourist area for many years now. Lots of new resorts opening there, different types of resorts, like luxury all inclusive, down to wellness, eco. Belize has a lot of adventure things to do. And so there's retreats and all inclusives around that in Belize. So Belize is the second one on our list today. Now we move to Costa Rica. As many of you know, perhaps if you follow us or look at the website, you know that Christina and I used to own a condo in Costa Rica. We actually owned it in Jaco, Costa Rica, which is a town right on the Pacific coast, on the western, obviously western side, Pacific coast, right in the middle of the country, central Pacific area, Jaco. Jaco does not really have resorts. There's no all-inclusive resorts or anything in Jaco. There's a lot of condo complexes. Jaco is one of the only spots in all of Costa Rica where you can actually own property, like condos, on the beach. Right? The beach is usually public for public access. Jaco is one of the exceptions in Costa Rica where you can actually own deeded property right there on the coast. So as you can imagine, they're trying to develop that as much as they can to sell it off because you can't build a condo complex in other parts of Costa Rica and just sell that off. Now you can get with views, but not necessarily right on the beach like many of the condo complexes are in Jaco. Naco is about 45 to 60 minutes away from the capital, San Jose. That's where you would fly into to go to Jaco. Um, and San Jose is pretty much right in the smack dab in the middle of the country. That's the most populated city, obviously, and it's an easy commute over. Now, the other area in Costa Rica that is the tourist area is the northwest section. It's actually a province called Guanacaste. And so there are all-inclusive resorts there. There's the Secrets there. There's a Dreams there, going back to our vacation club, Unlimited Vacation Club. And there's all kinds of other all-inclusive resorts and things that have been opened there. And that's where they are. They're nowhere else in the country. They're concentrated right in that spot in Costa Rica. And everything, all the tourist stuff in Costa Rica, by the way, is on the Pacific side, not on the Caribbean Atlantic side. Nothing's really developed over there. It's all on the Pacific side. So to get to the Guanacaste region, there's actually a second international airport in Costa Rica. It's called Liberia, LIB for short. And so that's where you would fly into to go there. There's the Arenal volcano, which is inland, which you can get to from either way. It's probably about, I don't know, about an hour and a half drive from either direction, depending on exactly where you are in Costa Rica. But as you know, Costa Rica has all kinds of things to do, right? You can sit on the beach, you can surf, right? You can't really swim on the Pacific side so much. There's maybe a few areas here and there that are protected coves, but by and large, it's pretty rough, but very beautiful. Down in Jaco too, the sand is kind of more black sand from the volcanic activity there. It's very, very nice. So anyway, Costa Rica is the third entry on the list of best places to go in the Caribbean and Central America. Next one on the list might surprise you a little bit, but we're going to go to Cuba. Yes, I know. I know. If you're our age, in your 50s now, wow, in your 50s now, like you remember Cuba as the communist regime, and they still are. They're, just a few miles off the coast of Florida. But since Fidel Castro's passing a few years ago, they have opened up the country. They're welcoming tourists in now because they need money, right? They're a poor country. They need money, so they're starting to open up a little bit, and you can just go and visit. Americans can go down there and visit without much trouble now. And so Cuba is an interesting place to go. We have not been to Cuba. We're not really planning on going there. There's lots of other islands in the Caribbean we'd probably go to first. But if you need a quick getaway and want to do something different, for sure, like take a trip back in time, maybe when you see all those cars from the 50s and 60s there. You see that in the movies, but that's true. That's actually true if you go down to Cuba. So Cuba actually is the fourth entry on the list as a surprise entry, up and coming place to go. And then the last entry might also surprise you too. We go back to a neighbor country of Costa Rica. This is Nicaragua, and they call it the Emerald Coast of Nicaragua. Again, on the Pacific side, we have not been to Nicaragua proper either, but it's definitely an up and coming tourist area. Again, if you're our age, you remember the whole Iran Contra Nicaragua affair back in the 80s and all that stuff. And so it kind of has a bad taste in the mouth from those old regimes, but it's definitely again an up and coming tourist place, Nicaragua. Something different off the beaten path for sure. Maybe you can take a couple of weeks or even a month and go down and see Nicaragua, go down, spend a week in Costa Rica, and maybe if you're giddy, just chug on down to Panama and spend some time down in Panama. There's a Dreams Resort down in Panama as well. We have not been to Panama, but you can kind of just do a hop, skip, and a jump. So that's going to round out our post. Sorry for it being so long. I'm also going to try to post the audio clips in there as well too, so you can do the video or the audio. If you don't want to look at my face, and totally understand that, maybe try with the audio as well. So again, the 5 places to visit in 2025 in the Caribbean and Central America: Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Costa Rica, Cuba, and the Emerald Coast of Nicaragua. All right, stay tuned. We will do the next series. We're going to do best places to visit, and we're probably going to go over to Europe for the next installment. So stay tuned.